explain about the fast track method of getting to our goals. So yeah, you can have point A and point B, and the quickest way to get from point A to point B is in a straight line, or you can take the slow road. So that's the fast track, and this is the slow road, and the slow road looks, I think, you might describe it slightly differently to myself, but I think it's a meandering, and maybe it's going around the houses a bit, eventually it gets to be, but probably more by luck than by management. So what we're wanting is a fast track goal, and the way that we do it is through this acronym of SMERTIE. And the first letter is S for specific, and like we were describing in our last mini session, our last video clip, we need to be specific about where it is that we want to go. If we don't know where it is we're going to go, how will we know, even if we get there, that we've arrived? So we must be specific within the writing of our goal. We must be specific about where it is that we want to go. And the letter M is for measurable. So in this first session that we're doing via video, in the first session we describe what the goal is. In the second session we break it down into manageable chunks. We chunk it down, we have mini goals or milestones along the way. So for example, if I'm going from here in Sheffield all the way down to Swansea, then that's quite a long distance. I've got a friend in Bristol, so I can stop off at Bristol. When I get to Bristol, I've not actually got to Swansea. I'm 2/3 of the way there. So the milestones would say if we're having 6 milestones, which we usually do with goals, then we're at milestone number 4 in Bristol. So it's not a case of, oh well, we'll never get to Swansea, so let's turn around and go back to Sheffield. That's completely silly. We're 2/3 of the way there. So if we break down the goal into mini goals or milestones, we have some measurement by which we know how far we've travelled along the way, then we know for a fact that we are making great progress towards our goals. Then we come to the E. The first E is for evidence or evidential. And what we do in between our sessions is we have action steps. Steps that take us towards our milestones. So that's the evidence that we need along the way. The R is for responsibility. And when you write a goal, the goal cannot say, because of my wonderful life coach, this has happened or that has happened. The responsibility for the goal must be with the person who's being coached. So that's your ability to respond to the challenge of your goal. T is for timed. When we write a SMERTIE goal, we always write the goal at a future date, but we write it in the present tense. It's a kind of a trick on the mind, a trick on the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind knows that it's not that date yet, but it knows that what will happen is we're wanting to move towards the goal happening by that particular date. The I is for inspirational. And we need to be inspired by our goal, and if it doesn't inspire us, and we're going to read it twice a day with a big smile on our face out loud, if we're not inspired by the goal, unfortunately we'll just cast it to one side. We won't really be bothered about it. So the goal must be inspirational. And then the final E is for emotional, and I'm writing that with a hyphen like you'd write email. Email would be electronic mail. This is E for energy, in motion. Energy in motion. And so when we read the goal, it's not enough for it to inspire us. If it inspires us, then what happens is we feel totally blissed, and that's great. But you're not going to get anything done by being blissed out of your mind all day. It'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? But you would still need to take action to move you towards your intended goal. Right at the bottom of the page here, got a quote from Brian Tracy. Every single life only becomes great when the individual sets upon a goal or goals which they really believe in, which they can really commit to, which they can put their whole heart and soul into. And the word that I sum that all up with, it's not a word that I use very often, but the word is congruence. we need to be congruent with our actions and our goals in our lives. It really is very important for us to be able to feel wholeheartedly that this is something that we want to do. It's a really bad illustration, but maybe you could have a goal to go and kill somebody, and with that goal you might have milestones along the way to buy a gun, to buy some bullets, to stalk the individual and confront them with a loaded gun when they're alone. But if you believe that murder is wrong, you're never ever going to get your goal, and I hope that that is one goal that you'll never get. But we need to be congruent. If there's something inside us that says, I'm not really happy about having £1 million, if that's your goal, then you've got to either have a different goal, or you've got to change your beliefs so that you can actually accept that goal wholeheartedly. So yes, we need to really believe in our goals. We've got to be able to really commit to them and to put our whole heart and soul into our goals. Otherwise, we're not going to get those goals. So that's SMERTIE for you. And when we've written the goal, we will check back to see whether the goal that we've written is a SMERTIE goal or not, whether it has these constituent parts: specific, measurable, evidential, responsibility, timed, inspirational, and emotional, energy in motion. Thanks for watching our 4th video all about SMERTIE. I hope that you'll join us very quickly now on the brainstorming video clip number 5. Thank you for watching. Bye.